So do you have a story of maybe start to finish what this process looked like here at Ramsey?
Yeah. Why don't we talk about The Fine Print, which is a podcast that we launched.
This is not a paid pitch, but I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Yes.
It's a podcast we launched last summer that, George Camel hosts. And you're a massive part of this, right? And so when we set out, the problem that we were trying to solve was, hey, we have these podcasts and we really want to reach more white space with these podcast platforms. And so that was kind of the problem that we've identified. And then we looked to see, hey, what data and information do we have to kind of start ideating? And so we had a lot of listener surveys from some of our existing podcasts that we have here at Ramsey. And we really started to kind of piece together what a target customer looks like. That allowed us to say, what is that customer listening to? And so, from a listening standpoint. And based on that information, what we found was that our target audience was listening to narrative-based podcasts, and that was not necessarily something that we did. And so that gave us a direction to point to, but we weren't done there. We didn't just go out and make the thing, right? Then we did a survey. And so we surveyed our target audience to get a little bit more information. We wanted to know what topics they wanted to listen to. We wanted to know what's the kind of formats they wanted. So anyway, we're gathering a little bit more information so that we can create that pilot. But then we're still not done. So that pilot, we had the thing made, and so then we invited, our users to come and listen to it, like our target audience. And if you remember, they were very, open and very helpful there, and we made some pretty substantial changes based on that feedback. And then, we launched it. But the cool thing about this is that every episode that we put out, as you well know, is user tested. And so we are constantly trying to improve that thing so that we can speak better to the user.
Yeah. And it worked. We've had about 1 million downloads so far, which is absolutely mind-blowing for an 11-episode season. And your team was a huge part of that, making sure that we were making a product people actually wanted that was going to help them.
Absolutely. Big team involved in that. So,
And I want to get to this as we wrap here. Mm-hmm. A lot of leaders listening, they don't have the big team. They don't have an entire content marketing arm or research team. Let's say I'm a small business owner. I'm a leader. I've got 3 people on my team. I don't have a big marketing budget. How can I step into this, validating ideas on a bare bones budget?
Yeah. It's really what you're trying to do is get in front of your target customer and start a conversation. And so however you can do that is the right way. And we talked a lot about the sales team. The sales team is a great opportunity not only to get information about your customer, but maybe you have an idea that your sales team kind of feels comfortable maybe asking their customer about, because again, they are talking to them every day. Again, go after those super users. Find those people, bring them in, and have that conversation with them. If you have a new product, feature, or service idea, get that feedback from them. That's free. They're already your customer, and they want to do that. You can also, there's a lot of tools out there. Some of them are very expensive. Some of them are not too expensive, like SurveyMonkey. You can get some pretty entry-level packages to kind of test into, to really kind of put your toe into that water of testing. And then the last thing I would say is, if you know who your target demographic is, who your customer is, find out where they are and go to them. And so a great something that we did last week was we went to LinkedIn and we found what our target demographic was, and they were into a certain group there. And so we joined that group, and that way we were able to get a lot of information and even poll that audience. And so it's really all about getting in front of the customer and having that conversation with them to understand what are their pain points and how can you best help them.
So it's all about talking to the customer, regardless of how much money you have to do the marketing and do all of the surveying. You've got to be engaged with your customers' pain points and what they're wanting.